it again. Alright, let's make this like 30 minutes, 25 minutes long. Got a little timer on the top right. Alright, so if you haven't been here before, welcome. It is your boy Matt Kane, and Double Tizzle, coming in to show you how to fucking cook it up like a griddle. If you're looking to smoke your enemies, bro, you have come to the right place, bro. This is one track success story, bro. Everything should be super easy if you follow my 6-step program to get yourself to lose a shit ton of weight. Alright, here we go. Presets explained. So, normally whenever you have your walls and you place them down, they sort of look like this, and you do everything regular, and it's all wonderful. But what if you're experiencing some problems with that? Let's say that you're experiencing problems with that. You're like building, and for some reason you keep on like coning yourself off. You got like all these regular edits and all that kind of stuff. Say you're like, oh, you keep on doing shit like that, or that, or that, or even that. This is all terrible things to happen. And let's say that all this stuff's happening and whatnot, and you keep on blocking yourself off, and you can't edit as fast as most people. So you keep on doing this, and you can't edit and all that kind of stuff. Or whatever, it'd probably look like this, and then you like stand around for a little bit, maybe do that, figure that out, go to the next one, or let's say that you're doing it, and you're like, alright, rock and roll, oh man, or you get stuck in a box, and all of a sudden, you're in here, the opponent's out there, you're sitting here holding the wall, you're like waiting for them to break it, and you like gotta open it up, shoot them, or do something like that. But the problem with that is it all takes time. What do I mean by time? I mean that if you have a regular wall like this, first you have to edit it, which for me is just a simple button, and then you gotta select it, and then it opens, and then you gotta shoot. Whereas if you have a pre-edit, you place down the wall like this, and then if the person's like behind it, you just go like that. I don't have to edit. That's like the whole point of presets, is you just don't have to edit. You don't gotta be a fucking Mongol monster at fucking editing to get good at this kind of stuff. Alright? So, now that we're getting on to this, the main thing that pre-edits solve is getting stuck in front of things. In front of blocking yourself in, or Harry Pottering yourself, however you want to say it. This is like the whole entire thing, is that with the pre-edit, if I put a door on it, if I'm going up a ramp or something like that, I can just walk straight through it. I can never block myself off with the wall in front of me. Alright, so now you got the ceilings. Well, you don't want the ceilings to block, so you sort of want it to look like that, so you can just run straight through. So let's make that our pre-edit. Alright, now, whenever I'm going straight through, I can never have to stop. I can do my 90s and whatnot, and it just sort of keeps me a lot more protected. Oops, I'm not really explaining it. I can do my 90s, and then however you'd like to say it. This setup right here is probably, it's super easy, because once you learn how to put the floors and the thing and the walls, then you just spam those buttons, and you'll do like a 4-layer ramp. So if you have this, you have your ramp, and you have your door, all this together. If I'm just sitting here, and this is literally like, there's no like order or anything, I'm just gonna spam as fast as I can. Boom. No effort whatsoever, and boom. Look at that. Look at that. That right there is a solid 4-layer ramp, covering you on top, on the bottom, mostly on this side, but on the other side not so much. This is a lot more covered than if I were to be on this side, where it's not so covered. Well, I'm great at what I do. That was completely by accident. Now that you're sitting here slack-jawed, like, is it really that easy? Yes, it is that easy. Well, why don't we already all do it? Well, because in the state of competitive Fortnite, in my own personal experience of doing pre-edits and whatnot, whenever people see you doing pre-edits on your wall, they immediately think you're trash. So I think people think of pre-edits as just like an accidental thing that like, oh, I didn't mean to have a pre-edit. I was supposed to have a regular wall, but now all my walls have like a window on it. And you're like, oh my god, I accidentally edited a window. Oh my Jesus fucking Christ. Whereas in sort of Matt Cain's awesome spam building technique. See, here in spam building school, we don't really give a shit about that. In spam building school, we have infinite mats, and you never worry about being, like, I don't know, not placing all your mats. I don't know. You should never die with mats. If you're in a game, you shouldn't die with mats. If you have mats, but when you die, then you're a failure. I'm sorry to say it. I didn't want to have to say it, but like I love you, but like also if you die with mats, you're a failure. I can't explain that hard enough. But as it goes, we're gonna continue on to the thing. So this is like a basic setup. You still have your cones. If you're not really much of a cone player, I think that just having these two edits right here, pre-edits, will easily allow you to get height, like no problem. Because you're running forward, you're not like, all of your momentum is going forward. If you notice, the doors don't even slow me down. Like they do a little bit, but not much. So pretty much what you're doing with this whole thing is the strategy is that if your opponent's like cranking up 90s over here, he's like, oh yeah dude, I'm so cool, I know how to do 90s. Like, of all my friends, I'm the only guy that knows how to do 90s, and I'm never going to teach them how to do 90s because I need to feel superior. He's doing all this kind of stuff over here, and then all of a sudden you ran all the way out there, you're fully covered, they have to shoot you, you do this little turn, and then all of a sudden you're running straight forward. This guy has to do 90s just to keep up. What do I mean by this? This, going straight forward, is not as fast as 90s, because 90s also add that jumping element, so you're also increasing your height vertically by jumping. So just by doing the spam ramp, you're not going faster than them unless they're shit at 90s, which, by the way, if you're bad at 90s, then well, this technique is also great for you, because like you don't really need 90s to get height with it. It's like the ultimate retake in a sense, because if you're like this guy right here and you're having some problems shooting at this guy's building all this, you got a very small opportunity. If you've never seen this before, you're probably gonna be stunned until the guy gets over here and the shots are almost impossible, and then he turns around and now he's got height, and then you gotta crank more 90s, and you know you gotta watch out for the crankers. All right, it's a real thing. Alright, so that's a good beginner's course to pre-edits. You just want the door and the top. If, let's say, you're the kind of person that in a stressful situation, you start like spam building and you're like, oh my god, what's going on? This is great for you, but also, let's see, this would be great for you. Just in a sense of tunneling, this is like also straight perfect. Look at this. Straight perfect tunneling. This is just spam building, by the way. This is like the beginner. If you're just new to pre-edits, this is like the standard pre-edit setup. You gotta watch out for this turn. You gotta close this door right there. If you haven't ever seen that before, you will get stuck on it, and you can use that to your advantage too if you wanted to like block off another exit. There's different ways you can use these doors. There's a lot of creative ways to use doors. If you have like 3 doors, see if I can remember how to do it. Oh yeah, if you have 2 doors, you can close them like this, and then this person runs up to this, they close this one. They can still get through, but it's a little weird to see if you don't know what to do. Alright, so this is the basic setup. If you want, you can do the tunneling thing and then you can just crank right out, or spam right out. Do your little flip. Do whatever. Say you just wanted to keep on the same layer. And you do all this fancy stuff. Super cool. And if you're a kind of guy that likes to do like this kind of stuff, if you like going down after you get really high up because you accidentally built too much, there's also a great technique for you with the single door on your walls. You can do things like this. Oh wait, excuse me. Yeah, I'm sure you saw what I just did there, hopefully. If you didn't, rewind the video. I just waterfalled and then I just walked through the door. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, so now that we know the basic edit, I shall teach you guys the next level. Bum, bum, bum. We put a window on our wall. Alright, now this is my personal preference. Once you get past the standard setup, it becomes really personal preference. So in my personal preference, I like to make my cones ramps. If I wanted to make them like Doritos, I could. Or if I wanted to do if I wanted to do this edit, I don't know, you can do a lot of different things if you're feeling it. If you like to do this like ramp rush, but you keep on blocking yourself off with the cone in front of you, or the cone in front of you because you're spamming, then maybe adding like this or doing this would help you never cone yourself off. For me personally, I always do my ramps like this because there is a strategy to it. If you're not really much into editing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't if you're watching this video, there's two things to think about. Whenever you're editing cones, you have 4 things that you can edit. Easy peasy, like you can't really mess that up that much. So whenever I'm editing cones and floors, I like them to generally be the same. If you notice that the floors are 4 square and the cones are 4 square. So I like to make my ramps cones in my own personal preference. And if you like stairs, or like you like being able to flip stairs, maybe you should keep using the stairs, and maybe you wanted to make your Doritos something, you want to make your cones something fancy, or I don't know, it's up to you. You can do something like that, I'm not sure. A lot of different things you can mess around with. I don't really do much with Doritos. Whenever I first started, I thought doing Doritos only was really cool, but also like very difficult to master, and I am too lazy to do that. Currently just trying to develop a really simple thing that doesn't require too much crazy movement. Yeah, too much crazy movement. I just want everything to be nice and sleek. So I never cone myself off. I make my cones into ramps. So that's my second pre-edit. So I got windows on my doors, windows on my walls. That's a good song name right there, windows on my walls. Let's see what else. And then I just taught you this one. We're gonna be keeping this one the same. The roof's the same, just because whenever you're doing this, it is super fast. If you're looking for a bit more advanced when it comes to like movement wise, you can also do sort of a sideways one. So whenever you're doing this, it'll keep you a bit more covered on the roof or above you, but you have to crouch to get around it. If you just like run at it, you'll get stuck, or if you run at it at the very edge, you should be able to do it. But if you put a wall there, then you're messed up. There's a lot of different things you could do with those. That used to be my preferred setup because you always have a hole. You have 2 holes in it, and there's a lot of different things to use whenever you have the diagonal floors. There's a lot of diamonds. I'm not sure what to call them. Yeah, I'd probably call it a diamond. Yeah, so if you have like diamond floors, then you generally get messed up. Oh man. Alright. And then for my ramps, I flip them backwards. I know what you guys are thinking. Matthew, what are you talking about flipping them backwards? You, last time you played, you had done this kind of edit. You were using this. Oop. And, oof. Yes, I was using this edit right here. This one is super good. It really is really good, but the problem with this one is that there are some sticky movement things. Like, I would be using this one a lot more if like stuff like this doesn't happen. You have to crouch under it. Or, yeah, if you do a ramp, if you do one of these into a floor, it'll block you. But there's a way around it. If you do it into a ramp, it won't block you for some reason. And the reason is that the floors, whenever you have ramp floors, or cone ramps instead of regular ramps, it's just slightly lower. I'm not sure how to try to explain this. If you look at my head, whenever I go over it, I can you sort of see how I'm like going up. So there's that movement problem, but there's also this one. If you have, it's the exact same problem, except if you're just trying to ramp forward, you have to crouch and get under it. Because if you just took this wall out, it's the same thing that you just saw, except like not on this side, but like right here. So this thing is just very difficult to work with, but there's a lot of weird, cool things you could do with it. You can always do the good old-fashioned rundown. If you wanted to get height, it's not the fastest way to get height, but if you're lazy and you don't like cranking 90s, this is a great way to do it. Except you gotta like crouch every once in a while. Also, if you're a croucher, there's a lot of things you could do with this one. You can do this. If you don't mind crouch walking through your builds, like if you're in a build fight or something like that, you don't mind crouch walking, having this setup is super useful. And plus you can do stuff like excuse me. You can run forward with it. This is good if you got like troubles in front of you or above you. But personally, I feel like this is definitely useful. There's some weird thing where you can connect them back to back. Like for some reason this connects, and then this should connect. Like this shouldn't connect really. It's a little weird. This really should not connect at all. But I could also do this, which it connects by that. It's a weird setting. It's a weird preset if you think about it. It's just the connections are all wonky whenever you look at it. So they definitely didn't flesh that one out that well. So instead of doing that, I figured out a more consistent way of using my ramps is by just flipping them backwards. This allows me just to go straight down if I need to, but also if I put my doors in front of me, I can double ramp down. Or if I wanted to stay on the same level, I can just go forward like this with my double ramps. And if you'll notice, like the special thing that I just did between those two is that if I'm just going down, I'm doing ramps in my walls. If I'm going side to side, I'm just doing ramps in my floors. And then if I wanted to come out of it, I can do crazy stuff like that. Do spam, hit them with the spam ramp real fast. They weren't ready. And then take it back down because maybe we went a little bit too high. Maybe we wanted to go through the windows because we're crawling through this. We don't want to open any doors. So we gotta make it as quiet as we possibly can be. Not sure how to explain that one. Let's say that we're just doing regular thing. A great thing about walls with windows is that you can do the spam 1x1 push. And this one, it does leave you open. Oh, I hit the wall. It leaves you open, particularly that, like, if someone gets in front of you, they're right here, you're completely open. It's also your exit. The problem with, really the problem with having a window on your wall is that while it offers you a lot more, like, mobility, in the sense, like, you can just go out of your window whenever you want, it also means that it's a line of sight, so they're going to fire through these windows. So, how do you counter that? Well, Matt Cain's #1 rule of gaming is, in fact, do not stop moving. If they cannot put a target on you, you should be fine. So, even if you have like a ton of people shooting at you, if you just spam and run through your builds, you should be like perfectly fine. There's very little chance that they'll be able to hit any shot on you. Which means that a lot of this comes down to those very key engagements. So this definitely comes down to, like, if you're fighting using this style, you're going to be getting that high point, and what you want to do is you want to surprise them with movement, hit them, spam, and get the hell out of there, and then you're already cranking again. You're already going up. Go up, shoot, spam, get out of there. Go up, shoot, spam, get out of there. Open this, shoot, spam to get out of there. Hit him with the oof. Close him off. Open this thing up. Go through this. This is mine. I forgot. Oh no. I need to be a bit more sneaky. I'm very low. I gotta crawl through all this. Now they have no idea where you are. Now you can start cranking again. Spam up. Oh man, there's only 3 minutes left. Alright, so I want to let you know that I'm paying very little attention to my builds. I'm mostly paying attention to how I'm moving through the builds. A lot of the muscle memory that you're going to be getting with this is just like how you move through this sort of serpent of builds that you're making. Yeah, and if you got people on you, man, there's plenty of different ways to do it. The spam 1x1 ramp rush. Yeah, I forgot. That's if you wanted the lower. If you don't want the up. The up and up spam ramp rush. And if you do it like this, where you go back and forth, sort of like a zigzag pattern, not only you're putting all these builds down, but you're also making like a 2x4 or a 2x1 as you go through. Oh no, the storm's getting closer. Looks like we're gonna die here. Oh man, I didn't want to die like this. Ah, jeez. Well, it's been good. Peace out. Don't smoke crap. Hope you're happy, my dudes. And if you learned anything, bro, give me a shout out, bro. Anthrone always here. Peace.